There are two types of codependency that they don't tell you about when you're learning the choreography of survival. There's the kind that's taught from the outside, where the walls of your childhood home had unstable foundations. Parents who shook the house with their moods, their addictions, their emotional immaturity. And so you learned early, if I keep calm, I stay safe. If I have no needs, there is no punishment. If I disappear, the chaos might not find me. External codependency, the kind that shapes you because your safety depended on it. You were the buffer, you were the fixer, you were the one who swallowed your own storms so theirs wouldn't erupt. And then there's the kind you grow on the inside, the internal codependency. The belief that your worth is a reflection of someone else's eyes, that your value is measured by how easily you are to tolerate, how quietly you can fit into the mold, how precisely you can predict the needs of others before they even ever have to say a word. Some of us learn this in strict homes, in rigid cultures, in religious systems or highly controlled groups, places where love was rationed, where approval was the only currency. You learn to be good, you learn to be convenient, you learn that the best version of you was the version that asked for nothing and offered everything. You became part of the architecture of dysfunction, of this dysfunctional system, a load-bearing beam in a house built on brokenness. You kept it standing, even when it crushed you. But then, something in you began to crack open. Maybe it was age, maybe the therapy finally started to take root. Maybe it was a single moment when you realized you were living a life designed by someone else's wounds. And in that moment, you did the bravest thing that survivors ever do. You left. You stepped back. You went no contact. You broke the cycle. And yet, here we are. The holidays arrive, like they always do, unchanged and unbothered by everything you've survived. A cultural tidal wave of obligation and nostalgia that doesn't care about your boundaries, your trauma, your healing. And suddenly, all these old fucking alarms start going off. The part of you that was raised to be this emotional firefighter, you were the therapist, you were the provider, you were the protector, you were the confidant, you were the buffer, you were the punching bag. Suddenly, this part of you starts scanning the horizons. What if they're alone? What if they're cold? What if their heating's not working? What if they have no food? They can't cook for themselves. What if they die and I'm not there? What if this is their last holiday? You know that the dysfunction nearly drowned you. But some old instinct inside you still whispers to go back, to save them, to keep them alive. If not you, who? No one? And for some of us, this is the gravitational pull, the gravitational tug of the holidays, of these ghosts who once lived inside your survival instincts. But here's the truth. It is not your role on this planet. It is not your job to save anyone, especially people who hurt you. It was never your responsibility to keep an addict sober, to soften a violent temper, to stabilize a collapsing home, to be a parent to your own parents, to prop up an entire system on your single shaking fucking body, man. You were a child or you were a partner. Either way, you were a person trying to live. You were never meant to be the solution to someone else's bullshit, someone else's unhealed wounds. And now, as the holidays cast their long, familiar shadows, your nervous system remembers what your mind might have tried to outgrow. So if you feel this urge, this pull to go back, if you feel this kind of guilt or this kind of fear, this phantom responsibility, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something tender and true. Your empathy is not an obligation. Your compassion is not a contract. Your healing does not require a return to pain by any means. Your love, like real, genuine love, does not demand self-destruction. You can honor your past without re-entering it. You can feel concern without sacrificing yourself to it. You can wish someone well and still keep your distance. You can grieve what never was without trying to resurrect it. Maybe this season your shadow is whispering that you owe them something, or that without you this terrible thing might take place. But your soul knows the truth. You saved yourself, and that is enough. That honestly is everything.